More than $2.5 million will go toward affordable housing in Roanoke. Today, Senators Mark Warner and Tim Kaine announced 3 grants from the United States Department of Housing. The more than $9 million will also help address homelessness and support housing for low and moderate
A
income.
man by the name of Matthew Desmond once said, "It is hard to argue that housing is not a fundamental human need. Decent, affordable housing should be a basic right for everybody in this country. The reason is simple. Without stable shelter, everything else will fall apart."
I've always been interested in the story behind buildings, the story behind homes, the story behind cities and why they change and why some neighborhoods lose investment and some get more investment. And behind every home that's vacant, there's a really complicated and fascinating story. So when you see that vacant home and you have the tools in your toolkit to do something about it and to change it and to make it, bring it back to life again and make it a space for a family, why wouldn't you take every opportunity you can to do that?
My name's Chad Brown, I'm co-owner of Square One Contracting. We work with Restoration Housing on all the projects for the last 4 years. Usually they're pretty rough. These jobs are a matter of unpeeling all the layers of the house to figure out what somebody else has done to it, what time's done to it, and then put it back together.
My name is Destiny Chambers and I'm a tenant for Restoration Housing. I've been a tenant for about 9 months. Throughout this time frame, my experience has been pleasant. It's a lovely living space. We love our space. It's huge enough for me and my whole family.
My name is Edgar Brown, and this is my beautiful wife, Durable Brown. Okay. And it's been a long journey for us, but we finally found a spot that we're very comfortable, and my wife very much refused to go anywhere else. So
I love it here. I love having my grandkids over. They feel comfortable. They can go outside and run around in the front and the back, and they have a little playroom of their own where they can come over, enjoy themselves, and be comfortable. And it's just, it's home.
it really does. It really
It's
feel like
home. I love it.
Taking these houses that were they were used poorly before, they were maintained poorly, and then we're able to, Restoration Housing actually is the one that gets the design, gets everything so that they can make it affordable for people, and then we take it to a much higher level than the houses were, hopefully back to their original grander what they were originally. So using historical trim, going back to all original finishes. You don't often get to take something that's this bad and take it back to that level of good. And on top of it, to know that when it's all done, it's going to help people out.
My first thoughts when I saw the house was that it was huge and very, very well renovated.
Did the downstairs, and then we looked at the upstairs. I went home and I told my husband about it. He was like, "Okay, let's go back right now."
Yes.
So we came right back with him, and he came upstairs and he fell in love with it. He said, "This is it.
This is it right here.
I don't want to look at nothing else. This is it." So
Where's who I need to talk to?
I don't feel any money is wasted on something that you can provide somebody with a better life. So you're giving somebody that was staying in a house that was like this before we started, and they have the opportunity to stay in a house like this after we're done, and the transformation from what it was to what it is. And that's what that money allows, is for people to get into a better spot, and when they're in a better spot, they start to feel better and have better lives.
The heart of it, it's reinvestment. It's reinvestment in neighborhoods that have been systematically devalued. And so I've learned a lot about what reinvestment can look like, how to find the right resources for it. There have been so many uphill battles, from everything to finding the right grants, finding the right architect, finding the right tenants, working with the city, working with the neighbors, working with the neighborhood groups, and all of it, there's like, each time you get past one hurdle and learn one new thing, you find yourself back at square one again with a new hurdle for the next project that's totally different. So I'm always learning. I'm learning with each project what that neighborhood needs and what that neighborhood wants. And I just feel like kind of a constant student learning about Roanoke.
It didn't take me 2 days to readjust. I readjusted real easy, very easy. And I thank you.
That first night, it was like, oh, peace and quiet.
Couldn't get nothing no better, right? And ever since then, everything's been up and up. I have no complaints. I have none at all.
A man by the name of Matthew Desmond once said, "It is hard to argue that housing is not a fundamental human need. Decent, affordable housing should be a basic right for everybody in this country. The reason is simple. Without stable shelter, everything else will fall apart."
Restoration housing, rebuilding history, rebuilding lives.